variables. So what is a variable? So a variable is like a container that stores a value. It could be a number, a text, or something else. And today we shall look at how to declare variables. We have different ways to declare variables in JavaScript, and the very first way is using a let. When I say let name equal to, for example, Owen, so I open these quotes and write in Owen. I would come down here. We shall always be using console.log. We shall be using console.log, and I say Owen. So I will go live. I will go live, and once I tap go live, I will right click and go to inspect, and when I inspect, I come to console. So they will show me live server reload enabled, and in our script.js at line 3 we have a console, and it is consoling Owen. So this is our variable, and we've got Owen. This is using the let. So we have three ways. I said we have let. We've got also what we call val. Val is some old and rarely used now, but we can use it and say val age is equal to 50. And when I console.log age, I will console.log age, and when I do come back here, I've got 50, and it is consoling my age. If I proceed further to use let is preferred, and we have another way called const. We can say const value is equal to maybe 568. When I console.log value, and head to my browser, I will have this value on my console, 568. So using the let method, I will first talk about the let method and remove all this. So the let method is recommended for changing values. That is, if I have a value name and I know at a certain point I'm going to change the value of the name I've assigned, I can use let. For example, I have Owen, name is equal to Owen, and at some point when I come and say name is equal to let's say Dominic, this Dominic will replace Owen in the name variable, and when we do console.log name and look into our browser, we shall have it consoled as Dominic. So let is used for changing values, and we can reliably use it if you know you are to work with datasets that are changing over time. Then we've got what we call, I'm going to comment this out. When I highlight all and control slash, I do what we call commenting out. So I will head to const. Const is used for non-changing values, that is for fixed values. For example, if I use const country is equal to my country is Uganda, and I console.log country, I will come into my browser and I have country Uganda. Can I just do this and work with this in my side? Okay, and I can also minimize this, make it a bit small. And then I have it side by side. Okay, I will inspect on this, inspect. Do I have it? Okay, let's stick to this. So when I do have my country Uganda, if I happen to come and change the value of country and say country is equal to maybe Kenya, and come and console.log country, I will get an error. If I come into this, they will tell me assignment to constant value at script this. It shows the moment I use const, I'm assigning a constant value, and this value JavaScript assumes it cannot change at any one time, so we do not want this to change. That's why we used const, and at every time you want to change this variable in your program, you will get an error like you assigning to a constant value. We've got a variable, we've got a val, whereby we can use val. Val works just like let, though not being used so much, and it has got the same thing. If I say Kenya, for example, I comment out Kenya, I have Uganda, so it's just like let, but what's more recommended is you are using the let. And for the const, that's if you're working with non-changing variables or values. So what can variables store? Variables can store different data types. We shall be looking at what data types are in JavaScript. That's in the next episode. And basically it stores all types of numbers, and all types of all objects, can store arrays, and we shall be looking at that over time. So we've got what we call naming conventions, or naming rules for JavaScript variables. For example, I can remove this. We do have rules for naming variables, and the first rule is it must start with a letter. So it must start with a letter. Underscores, dollar signs, such values are not allowed when naming variables. And then we can't start with a number, we can't start with 3 for our variable name. And the other thing is variables do not have spaces, and we use what we call camel casing. That is, for example, if we are naming our let's say let first name equal to John. So you find that we have this, and this is what we call the camel casing convention. The first is in small letters, and the preceding words are in capital letters. This is what we call camel casing in JavaScript, and we do not have spaces. We are following the rules, and we are not starting with a number. That's another rule we are following, and we must start with a letter. So our very first our very first character is a letter, that is F. So those are the 4 naming convention name rules. It must, let me do this, sorry, slash star slash, and I will write all my rules here. So the very first rule is, rule number 1 is we must start with a letter, and the other one is we can't start with a number, and the other rule is we don't need spaces, and the other rule is we use a camel casing style. So these are the 4 rules we shall be following every time we are to use variables, and the moment you adhere to this, you shall be good. So we can't do something like let 1 2 3 number equal to maybe 30. This is not allowed, and you will see a variable variable declaration, it's not allowed at this location. So we can't use numbers, we can't start with numbers. The other thing is, we can't say maybe let dollar number equal to 30. We can't use that. So once we follow that, we shall be good to go. So that is it for variables.